Hello. So, I want to start off by saying that I do not believe that running a business, online or offline, is a one size fits all type model. So, very similar to health and fitness journeys. What works for one person might not always work for another. And what worked for one person at one point might not work for them at another point. So I think that that's very true in diets and exercise programs. I don't believe that there is a perfect solution. I think that there's many different solutions, and a lot of it all depends on many different factors, really. Your environment, the person that you are, how your body is, your physical and mental being. And I do believe that that is definitely the same in entrepreneurship. So I don't think that it's one size fits all. I think that there are many ways to do something well. And I just want to start off by saying that because I feel like we see so many like catchy headlines that say something like, I sold a $2,000 program to 8 people and I only had an email list of a couple hundred people. So yes, of course, sure, those things are possible. But the reality is that's not the norm, right? And yes, you can absolutely make as much money as you want online, but it's not like you're just gonna wake up one day and do something, click, click, click on your computer and boom, you made the money. Like it takes hard work, it takes learning lesson after lesson, it takes trial and error. And then yes, if you stick with it and if you believe that you can achieve it and you figure out if one thing doesn't work and you figure out a different way, then I do believe that anything is possible. But I see so many, and I talk to so many coaches that want to go online to scale their business, scale their time, make more money, and they create a program or, have a program that they want to sell. And they just think that if they put it out there that people will come. So I want to say, first of all, that's really not how it works at all. Like the online marketplace, it's an amazing place to be, but it's saturated right now. Look at all the Facebook ads that pop up in our news feeds. Like, it's working, but it's saturated. So you really need to stand out. And just creating something and then setting it and forgetting it, I mean, sure, maybe there's one in like a billion people that happens to, but that's really not the norm. So I do believe that there are 3 things that no matter what you have to follow. So, you could go left when some people are going right and you might have success, and that's fine. But I think there are an underlining 3 themes that you have to have in place if you want to have success in launching an online program. So number 1, you need an audience. Like you need to have somebody to sell this program to. So many people, for one, don't have an email list. So if you don't have an email list, get one going. Email is a great place to sell. Social media is hit or miss. So in the past couple of years, you may have noticed this, that your business page is getting less and less interaction. Facebook is not pushing business pages into the newsfeed. They want businesses to play to pay or pay to play, and they want businesses to use ads. So Facebook is pushing Facebook groups. They're pushing very conversational type posts that are getting a lot of comments on them into the newsfeed. They are pushing kind of the more posts that you like on a person's page, you're going to see more of what they do because Facebook sees that you like that person. So they're really trying to cater to the user experience. It doesn't mean that businesses aren't going to have success. It just means that we have to understand that. We can't just be putting a couple posts up on our Facebook page saying that we're going to launch this program and think that we're going to get flooded with people joining. So Facebook group, if you don't have one and you've been considering starting one, now's a great time. A group is a great place to connect with your people. If you only have a Facebook page and you only have an Instagram page and you have a lot of followers, that's great. And that could mean that they will buy from you, but it does not necessarily mean that your followers will buy from you. There was a recent article that I think I posted on my Facebook group page about a girl who had like tons of followers on Instagram. She went to launch I think it was like a t-shirt business or something, and she needed to sell like not a lot of t-shirts, I don't know, 20 t-shirts maybe, in order for this company to make the t-shirts that she was selling. She did not meet her number. So even though she had thousands of followers, her people really were not aligned with what she was trying to sell. So So just because you have followers, it does not mean that they are going to buy from you. So that kind of leads in to the second most important thing you have to have if you're going to launch an online program. Let me just quick say, you can have a very small audience. So let's say that you do have an email list of like 100 people. There's two different things that can happen here. So the next question I'd have for somebody is, how engaged is that email list? So if you have 100 people on that email list and they haven't heard from you in months, okay, well, that's probably going to be hard to sell them. But if those 100 people on your email list, I mean, you're engaging with them constantly, like they're writing you back, maybe you've gotten on the phone with some of them, maybe they're in your Facebook group or they're commenting on your social media. Like if they're a really engaged 100, then that's awesome. That's a different story. And you don't need thousands upon thousands. So my point here is that the numbers matter, but they don't. You can have tons of followers, but if they're not engaged and they're not kind of your potential ideal clients, it doesn't matter. You could have very small audience, but if they are like your hot leads, your people, then you could have great success. Either way though, once you start to grow, it does become a bit of a numbers game. There really is no way, I mean, maybe you launch your first program and those 100 people buy, but then you still do need to go get more people, right? That's just kind of how business is. There's always going to be people coming and people going. So of course you do want to keep your people as long as possible, but if you want to grow, you do need to reach new people. So that's why growing your email list is definitely a priority and it's something you should start working on right away. Number two, the second thing that you need to do if you're going to run an online program is you need to build trust with that audience. So like we just said before, if you have a really small email list of 100 people, but you have built trust with them, they feel confident in you, they feel comfortable with you, they know that you are looking out for their best interest, those 100 people are going to be way more likely to buy from you than if you had an email list of 1,000 people and they really just don't quite know what they're going to get if they work from you. They don't know if they can trust you. They haven't heard enough testimonials. They don't quite know your core values. So building trust with people is the second most important thing you can do. So there's a few ways that you can do that. So one is you can show up consistently. So whether that's emailing your list every week, whether that's showing up on Facebook Lives, being consistent with YouTube videos or a podcast or blog posts, it's really just getting stuff out there consistently. Secondly, it's giving your people quick wins. So it's educating them, but not overwhelming them. It's giving them an action item or a quick win so that they can get a little preview or a little taste of what it's like if they worked with you on a different level, right? So if you're giving away, this is something that I really, really try to do in my business, because when I got started, it was the only way that I felt I could set myself apart from this crowded online space. Is I tried to give away so much value that people would be so grateful for the value that I provide. And I still do this. They're grateful for the value that I provide. I genuinely want people to have success in their businesses, whether they work with me or not. I think that all of us in the health, fitness, wellness, nutrition space, and even in other spaces, like we are doing things to help change people's lives. So whether, Susie down the road who's a health coach works with me or not, doesn't matter. If one of my free offers could help her either save her some time, save her some stress, or help one of her clients, then that makes me happy. Now, I do want to say, making money also makes me happy, right? Like being able to take my family on vacation makes me happy. Not being stressed about my own bills makes me happy. So it's not like I'm going to give all of my stuff away for free. But I really choose to give a lot away for free, but then be very, very selective of my time and decide when I am going to sell something, I'm going to make sure that there is a ton of value in it. So that is something that I've really tried to do in my business. And I really encourage you to set you apart from all the other people out there, is provide value so that people see what it's like to work with you and to just be you, like be authentic. That is what makes us so unique and makes us different from everybody else doing what we do. Okay, so 3 things that you must do before you launch a program. One is have an audience, have people to sell it to. Doesn't matter how great your program is. If you have nobody to sell it to, nobody to tell about it, then nobody's ever going to go through it. Number 2 is build trust. You have to build trust with your audience. They have to see the value in buying the program. They have to feel confident that you can get them a result, and they have to trust that you know what you're talking about. So whether that's you giving testimonial or you sharing testimonials, you sharing about your credentials, they have to trust you in order to buy from you, right? Buying is an emotional decision, and then the logic justifies it. Number 3, the third thing that you should do before you launch this program or as you're going to launch your program is build excitement around it. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who did one of two things. One was they offered it to a few friends or family for free. So for one, it had no value. But for two, they offered it for free in exchange for feedback, and they really didn't provide any excitement. It was almost like, do a favor for me, right? Or what they'll do is they will put up like 2 posts and nobody signs up for their program. Maybe they sent an email, maybe they didn't. Probably didn't really do a whole lot of like Facebook Lives or things that really got into the newsfeed. They put up 2 posts, got very little interaction, and nobody signed up for their program. So you really need to build excitement around what you're doing. So I have a free download that is a launch blueprint. Doesn't mean you have to follow it to the T, but it gives you ideas. But the best thing I can tell you is starting 3 months out, if you have the time, and if not, then at least a month out. Start getting content out there every week, either talking about, this launch of the program that you're going to have in, XYZ date, or just kind of teasing that you have something coming and give little wins along the way. So let's say that you're going to do a nutrition program, and your nutrition program is all about ditching the diet mentality. It's about diving into your mind. It's about changing, your viewpoint on food and diets. Well, then maybe you'll do a Facebook Live just kind of diving into one of those little topics. You're not going to give your whole program away for free, but you're going to let people really experience what you have to offer. Maybe you'll do another Facebook Live, like sharing your story. Share why you're running this program, why you plan to launch this program, how it's going to help people. So you want to at least 4 weeks before you go to officially launch the program, build excitement about it. So either talk about it or talk about something that's in the program. Also, you want to be sending emails. You want to be sharing on everything social media. So your group, your page, Instagram, if you're on YouTube or Twitter, anything, like share everywhere. Make sure, because not everybody is going to see your stuff. So make sure that if somebody comes and clicks over to anything, that they'll be able to see this. So I worked with somebody before where she said that she launched a program and nobody bought. And I went and I kind of like stalked her around on social media, and I couldn't find anything about her talking about this program. Finally, after me like scrolling, I think I saw a post or 2 on her business page. And that was it. Like there was no excitement. There was no she didn't talk about it in her group. She didn't talk about it on Instagram. She didn't change any header covers. So it's like you really want to make it a big deal, make it exciting. So there you have it. 3 things that you must do. You must have an audience, you must build trust, and you must build excitement before you launch anything. Now, after that, there's different things you can do, and that's up to you. You can offer one-on-one meetings, you could do group calls, you could have it all virtual. There's no one right way to do this. Many people have done it many different ways. You could, what else? You could offer a beta price. You could offer a founding member price. You could offer, if they join with a friend, they get a referral discount. There's tons of other little tips and tricks and tactics that you can do. And if one way doesn't work, then try it a different way the next time. But I think that those 3 things that we talked about here, those 3 underlining things, are an absolute must. You must have an audience, you must have trust, and you must build excitement before your launch. Okay, best of luck. If something doesn't work, try again. Please try again. Don't give up after one time. Okay, bye.